My name is Peter Davison. I played the Fifth Doctor, and you're listening to the Five-ish Fangirls.
The tangents this week continue all the way to episode 218 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. 10 players, 2 teams, 1 award ceremony. Who's gonna win? Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. So glad you joined us. Let's start off like we do every week on the virtual table and see who's joined us this week.
This is Brittany in Bethlehem.
This is Chrissy in Salt Lake City.
This is Holly from Wisconsin.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
In a strange yet amusing twist of serendipity, this is episode 218, and we're recording this on 2/18.
Oh,
Which also happens to be, should we embarrass Rachel right now? It also happens to be Rachel's birthday.
Yes, somebody's got a birthday. Happy birthday, Rachel.
Happy birthday to you. So, obviously this will go up after her birthday, but if our listeners want to wish her happy birthday, go to our Facebook page and flood it with comments.
Thanks, I think. It'd be better if you could send cake via Facebook, but
Well, if you can do cake too, go chuck a couple bucks in our Patreon account.
Yeah, there we go. We need cake. We all need to finally meet and have cake.
Yes. Did you have ice cream for breakfast? Considering I think it's National Ice Cream for Breakfast Day.
No, I did not. I think it's also national. I think it's also National Wine Tasting Day, which I may take care of that later at dinner.
I'm like,
when I have dinner,
these are all oddly specific.
Almost birthday related.
I did have ice cream cake at my birthday party last weekend, though. So
that works.
That works.
I love ice cream cake.
And then I proceeded to have more cake and ice cream. Not ice cream cake, but cake and ice cream is 2 separate things together this past weekend. So I've had a lot of ice cream / cake combinations in the last 9 days or so.
As one does on the birthday week.
Yes, because birthday calories don't count.
Exactly. It's what you do like when you travel and for birthdays.
Exactly.
And holidays. You eat what you like.
Holidays, birthdays, Disney, all the calories don't count.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we've got an interesting show this week. But first, we need to do the news. And unfortunately, we have a lot of 10 o'clock news. Actually, this first one should have been on last week's show, but I completely forgot to add it. So this one's a little late. But the Disney company, I guess, as a whole, has had a couple of passings. First with Ron Miller, who was married to Diane Disney, Walt Disney's daughter. Therefore, he was Walt's son-in-law. Passed away at the age of 85. So when he married Diane in 1954, he played professional football, actually, for a while until Walt brought him into the family company, and worked on various things. And then Diane was the one who helped open the family museum that's out in San Francisco. So he was on the board of directors for the museum since it opened in 2009, and then he was president of the board in 2013. And then Diane actually has passed away in the last couple of years too. So that is sad.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been to the Family Museum in San Francisco. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's full of so much Disney history. Walt, the company, it starts with Walt's family, so not just him, but going back to like his grandparents, and then his parents, and then young Walt's life, and the first studio, and with his brother, and then the Walt Disney Company, and all this stuff that came with it. And it goes all the way through to Walt's passing in the 60s, and I mean, if you're a Disney fan, it's amazing. So I highly, highly recommend, if you can get out to San Francisco, going. It is well worth the trip. So, and then more recently, Dave Smith, who was the founder of the Walt Disney Archives, passed away at the age of 78. He was named Disney Legend in 2007. And he had apparently a magazine column called Ask Dave. Short, sweet, and to the point.
Highly creative.
Yeah. So he was hired in 1970 by Roy O. Disney. And his first responsibility was cataloging every item inside Walt's office.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oofda.
Yeah. That would be an honor.
Yes, and quite the daunting task, but still quite the honor.
Mm-hmm.
But because of his notes, they were able to recreate the space and restore it in 2015. So employees can visit it to get inspiration and stuff.
I kind of feel like, if you had that job, you'd just kind of sit there for like an hour or so and just be kind of soak it in.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite an hour, but a substantial amount of time.
Yeah. There's a recreation of Walt's office at the Disney Studios in Florida. It's part of the One Man's Dream exhibit. It's behind glass, but it's a recreation of Walt's office, and it's really cool. So, let's see here. He was considered the final authority on matters of Disney history. So he was an active member of the Society of California Archivists. He served from 1980 to 2001 as executive director of the Manuscript Society, which is an international association of collectors, dealers, librarians, archivists, and others interested in manuscript material. So he's written several books, including the official Disney Encyclopedia, Disney A to Z, Disney the First 100 Years, the Quotable Walt Disney, Disney Trivia from the Vaults. He retired in 2010, and then he's been working as a consultant for the company with the title of Chief Archivist Emeritus. And actually, Lou has an interview with Dave Smith all the way back on WW Radio Show number 188. So we'll put a link to that if you want to go back into the WW Radio archives, no pun intended, and listen to that interview.
Sounds like an interesting guy to have sat down and just kind of pick his brain about everything.
Yeah.
No kidding. That's the kind of job I would like. Just give me something to, take records, photos, that sort of thing. Just me and stuff.
Yep.
Not people, just things. That is my kind of job.
kind of been doing that off and on with like family history stuff, but doing that with like Disney or something else that's just as big and important. It's like, dude.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, I'm just gonna comb through all this stuff, and what do you got for me?
Yeah. Well, and it's just, up until that point, archiving things and keeping things for
Mm-hmm.
future wasn't necessarily a priority. Like with the hand-drawn animation, like a lot of the cells and stuff are gone because those cells were expensive, so they'd have to wipe them so they could reuse them because the material was so expensive.
Yeah.
But even other things like the snow globe from Mary Poppins almost got thrown away.
Oh.
Yeah, there was a janitor that found it in the trash, and he thought it was so pretty that he didn't want it to see thrown away, so he put it in like his janitor's like closet, and somebody found it.
Well, thank goodness for janitors appreciating art.
Yeah.
Wish somebody would have stopped the janitors or whoever who in the BBC.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, we're missing all that, Doctor Who.
Oh, kids.
Yeah. People just it's kind of funny to see what gets saved. I mean, I think about every time this kind of topic comes up, I think about like when my grandparents passed away, like wow, almost 20 years ago. My grandma, when she's grown up, is a depression and they were poor, so she saved everything. And we got it, and we saved the important things, but most of it was just garbage. And then you think like, okay, so back then they saved some things but threw away other things that or maybe not thrown away, but like you said, they reuse the cells, or in the case of Doctor Who, they reuse the tapes. And it's just kind of like, we would rather have the tapes than your old broken camera or something.
Yes. Exactly. Yes, we experienced the same thing with Chauncey's grandparents. It's like, did you really need to keep those 6 broken coffee makers?
Might have a use one day. Might be able to use it for parts.
Yeah.
Sure, I guess. But did you ever?
Yeah, exactly. It's just a generational thing. So.
It really is.
And then you get, like people like our generation, and with like Marie Kondo, and they're like, throw away everything.
Or even, we think about digital pictures, and I'm like, I don't want to get rid of these like, how do I save them?
It's a lot easier for us to store things, though, because a lot of stuff is digital. I mean, you can just throw, half of your life on a flash drive and call it a day.
True.
So, it's just a thing. But the Disney archives, they're not open to the public. But I think on some of the Adventures by Disney, I'd have to look if that's still the case. I think it was at one point, but if you did the Adventures by Disney, the Southern California adventure, I believe that included a trip to the archives because it's on the same property as the actual studio in Burbank, I think. But it's not someplace you could just go, but there's certain situations where people can go to the archives and see stuff, like Walt's office. It's really cool. No, actually, I think a friend of mine. I have to look. I think they went to her and her husband went to the archives last year, or in the last couple of years. I think I'll have to look. If I'm remembering correctly, I'll put a link to her blog with the pictures that her husband took in the show notes. So. Anyway, speaking of other nerdy things that are making us sad, hopefully I won't cry talking about it. But unless you've been living under a rock, there's been a good number of people that have been greatly upset that the NASA Opportunity rover on Mars has ended its mission, for lack of a better term. So this was one of several rovers that are on the surface of Mars. But this one was it was sent to launched and landed on Mars in 2004, and was only supposed to last for 90 Mars days, which is slightly over 24 hours. They're the days on Mars. If you've read The Martian, you know how this works.
So roughly 3 months.
Yeah. So it was only supposed to last for 90 days, Martian days. It just stopped. They called it quits and said, this mission was done last week. So it ran for 14 years, 15 years. So it lasted way longer than it was supposed to.
So unlike all of our favorite mobile games that are also falling, that are being chucked by the wayside prematurely in some cases, I think. Yeah. This one actually lived a full and happy life.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
All the like cartoons and memes and stuff that people have been posting, all of them just want to make me cry. Mm-hmm. Chauncey and I were out to dinner. We were out to dinner Friday evening, and we were talking about it, and I started crying, and the gal walked by. She's like, how's your food? And we're like, great. And Chauncey's like, she's fine. She's just crying about the Mars rover. I'm like, that is so sad.
It kind of reminds me, I made this comment in one of our chat groups, that it reminds me of Bicentennial Man, because it's a robot, and
Yes.
but it also kind of has exhibited some human-like attributes, like talking, like that final message that it had, and I'm like, people probably would have been fine if it hadn't had that last message.
We're getting low, it's getting dark. I'm like,
when I saw that message, it reminded me of Jarvis from Iron Man 3.
Yes.
Like, no.
Yeah. And it's just like, seriously, really?
And then emotionally compromised yet again by a quasi-inanimate object.
Yeah, I know. But yeah,
the fact that it's saying happy birthday to itself every year, it's like, it's not our fault that NASA, kind of anthropomorphize the thing. Like, apparently Opportunity was a she, and they refer to it as her. So, really, this is NASA's fault for making us emotionally invested in a robot.
You made it like a puppy, okay?
Yeah. A little bit. I'm sure the fact that we're fans of Doctor Who doesn't help either. It's like handles or something,
That too. But yeah, I would suggest people go watch Bicentennial Man, and you'll kind of understand. It's not exact, but it's and also and like you mentioned, The Martian. Mark Watney in that he talks about the equipment. Well, at the end, he's like, his equipment is his best friend because he has nobody else, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, he does talk to NASA in a sense, but oh boy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and look at Wally.
And Wally, Wally.
Yeah, this is like Wally, the Iron Giant, even kind of like the Terminator.
Yep.
All rolled into one.
Yep.
Handles.
Just as long as our cute, sweet robotic companions don't turn on us, that's okay.
Yeah. We don't want any hells.
Yeah.
No.
Good news is, if Opportunity somehow manages to, spring back to life, she's light years away, and the singularity starts there. We're fine.
Yeah, true.
Or Skynet.
Yes, exactly. Oh my. Moving on to, this is still kind of sad news. Not quite as sad. The sad is getting slightly less sad as we go along. But we've officially gotten the word that Jessica Jones and the Punisher have been canceled.
We kind of saw the writing on the wall, but we
hope
against hope.
Yep.
Yeah, that one we knew was coming. It's all, I guess. Do we know that they're gonna hop over to the Disney streaming service, or is
We
that just
don't.
conjecture?
That's just
And
guessing at this point.
And then I supposedly heard rumors that a couple of the spin-offs from Netflix might go over to Hulu with cast changes. Don't take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard that Hulu would they gave that they would want it. I guess what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's
Which
the open opportunity.
Which we've had this discussion before, and Hulu would make sense because it would be part of the Fox deal, and because these are more mature programs, it would make more sense to put them on Hulu.
Right. Yeah, and Hulu does have a lot of that more mature programming sort of thing. Like I haven't watched any of their original stuff just because I have had no desire to watch any of it. Yeah. I just have it for mostly anime and some kid stuff for Alex, but yeah, that would make sense.
Yep. We just have to wait and see. So, the good news is for now, I'm assuming that the programs will stay on Netflix until further notice, and we still get one more season of Jessica Jones was not dropped yet. So, but if you're behind on the Marvel Netflix series, you may want to get on it because I don't know when they're going to disappear.
Yeah. The question is when, not if.
Yes. Yeah. And I really need to finish Punisher season 2 before Jessica Jones drops.
I hate to admit it, but I'm still behind on all of them.
Yeah. There's a lot to watch, so.
It is. Especially if you're me and you have to watch them in order.
Yeah. Yep. Alrighty then. So let's move on to some trailers. This trailer, which I had no idea this was a thing.
I didn't either until
I didn't either, but now that I've seen the trailer, I'm like, I need to see this.
Me
if anything
too.
else, just for the music.
Yeah, I like this. This is possible.
So there's this movie coming out this year called Yesterday. And it's a story about this guy who's like a floundering musician. He's got, he can sing, he can play instruments. He's not been able to make it big. And then one day, or it was evening for him, but one day, the entire planet goes dark for like a second. Like all the electricity in the entire planet goes out. And then it comes back on. And when it comes back on, nobody in the entire planet knows who the Beatles are except this one guy. And therefore he pretends that he has written all of their music and uses it to make himself a famous musician.
Well, there are a lot of people who whether you're a musician, an artist, an author, any of that stuff, that you look at things that famous people done, you're like, gosh, I wish I would have come up with that. And I guess this guy gets to do that.
Yeah. But so he's playing all the hits, and you get snippets of it in the trailers. It's like, if anything else, I'm going to enjoy this just to sing along with the music.
Yes.
It's going to be like Bohemian Rhapsody all over again. It's like, if anything else, I'm here for the music.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and then we got a trailer for the Tolkien biopic that we'd mentioned a couple shows ago, where again we did not know that was a thing until we knew it was a thing, and now we have a trailer.
Yeah. I mean, I'd seen a few pictures of it here and there, and I was like, oh, this looks good. And then I saw the trailer, and I'm like, yep, I need to see this one.
Same.
Yep. And he doesn't have if you go, I did not know that he was in this, but if you go to IMDb, he's listed. I don't think the part is very big, but through social media, I found out that Georgia Tennant, her son, the son she had before she met David, is actually in this movie. It's just going to be his first feature film.
Oh,
Nice.
well, that'll be awesome.
Yeah. And then for those that, for better or worse, depending on how you fall on the icy spectrum, we got our first teaser for Frozen 2.
I find it funny that they're advertising Frozen 2 in the middle of everybody having like the worst winter in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of like, really? You want to sell us on this now?
Yeah.
I'm under 10 feet of snow. Well,
Just
not
let it
right
go.
now.
Yeah.
Let it go. Oh. It looks like it's going to be fun.
I want warm hugs.
Yeah.
I want melty.
The entire gang's back together. It looks like they're going to be going on some sort of adventure outside of Arendelle. So, and it looks like it's going to be fall. At least for part of it. So it's like we've had to turn to winter. We've had spring/summer. Apparently now we're going to get fall. For some of it. Because there's a shot of them like looking across the landscape and all the trees are like, yellows and golds and reds and stuff. So
maybe as part of Disney's next big fairy tale thing, they're like, because we always think about, wouldn't it be nice if fall just lasted forever? Maybe they'll finally find a place where that happens.
Yeah.
That's a perfect fairy tale for me.
Yeah.
Same.
Like Disney, if you can figure that out, you can have all my money.
It's like I will go and live in your utopia compound if you can make that weather happen.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
No. And then the New York Toy Fair was last week. And obviously, if you're a toy collector, there were lots of exciting things announced. I had several friends who were like, oh, I got to buy this. I got to buy this. I got to buy this. But part of the Toy Fair included announcements from Hasbro. And for people like me, bronies and the Pegasus sisters, we got some exciting news and some not so exciting news. The exciting news is we are going to get another My Little Pony movie, but it is not going to be a sequel to the movie that we got in 2017. So we don't know if it's going to be a standalone or if it's going to be some other kind of random spin-off from the TV series. Don't know. But it is supposed to be released in 2021. And then they also made the announcement that season 9 is going to be the very last season of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic.
Maybe the movie will be like a wrap-up.
Maybe.
So. I mean, there was a lot of stuff coming out of that toy fair.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, boy. I mean,
Hasbro announced all sorts of things. Like, we're getting a Dungeons and Dragons movie.
I know. And I'm sitting here looking at that. I'm like, okay,
how's that going to work?
You guys realize how complex Dungeons and Dragons is. Like, everybody makes their own thing.
We don't need a Dungeons and Dragons movie. We've already got one. It's called Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
they make a Dungeons and Dragons movie like in the 80s, and it was kind of terrible.
I was gonna say, I could have sworn there was one already.
Or there were Saturday morning cartoons.
There was a cartoon.
Mid-90s, then there was a mid-90s Dungeons and Dragons movie. Yeah, that didn't go over too hot.
Yeah. Although maybe now, like, with it being kind of a little more popular and, with Stranger Things and, like, because Jared runs D&D at his library. I've been running one at a different library. For and we get a lot of people, a lot of kids, a lot of new players, and it's just kind of. And so maybe they'll be like, okay, yeah, we actually do know what we're doing with this, but it's like
I love the scenarios that Jared posts, and like, yeah, here's what happened, and here's what the.
Yeah, I mean, do you realize how bonkers these players, what the stuff they can?
Yeah, and
like,
how
you
much
put
of the
a dragon
crazy
in a
stuff
bag of holding,
actually
it
works.
dies and goes to another dimension, and so they better not open that dimension because it's gonna come back and get them for pulling that crap. I mean, oh boy. So yeah, I'm sitting here going like, okay, forget like the the honorable heroes and things. Like, how about just a movie about a bunch of screw ups? Just well, no, the term is murder hobos.
I love it.
Murder hobos, I like.
Yeah. Wait a second. What'd you say, Jared?
Murder.
Yeah.
Third one is about a group of evil adventurers. And Paladin has to infiltrate.
So he said there's been 3 movies. They've all been kind of crappy. The most recent one was about a group of evil adventurers that a paladin had to infiltrate.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my.
Oh, my.
Stealing the loot. By putting him in a bag of holding after killing him and dumping the body and the loot in the lake.
Yeah, so he punishes one of the party members who stole the loot by putting him in a bag of holding and then dumping the bag with the loot and the guy in a lake. So you see how bonkers this can get. It's fun bonkers.
Yeah.
And it's
the lake
bonkers.
wasn't
It's like,
a
how are
bog
you
of
going to do a
eternal
movie of
stench?
this? Yeah. Like, okay, if they can pull it off, hats off to them. I mean, Warcraft was a decent enough movie. Wasn't great, but it was entertaining for what it was. So, we'll see what they do.
If they could do it halfway decent, then maybe they could find it a way to segue and do a spin-off of the D&D type game that exists in the My Little Pony universe called Ogres and Oubliettes.
There you go.
Oh, that'd work. Or no, this is what they do. They do it the way they did the Lego movie.
Yes.
Where at the end, it's you have the adventure and everything's going nuts and crazy and stuff, and then at the end, it's a table of players that are just
I was literally gonna say that.
going, doing their thing.
Yep.
Anyway.
Are we
So My Little Pony,
find out
D&D,
Hasbro's got money and they're trying to spend it, so
Well, like everybody else in the world.
Yeah.
So My Little Pony people are both happy and sad, and the Dungeons and Dragons people are like
confused.
And the Star Wars fans are crying out loud for how many action figures are coming their way.
Yeah.
That too.
Oh boy, howdy.
Oh my. All righty then. Well, that's it for the news. So we don't have any feedback, so we are going to move on to this week's main topic, where we have been challenged. The gauntlet, thankfully not the Infinity Gauntlet, but a gauntlet has been thrown and not snapped.
We thank them for that.
Yes. So actually, this was brought up to me when Colin was here for my birthday party a couple weekends ago. He had mentioned that Matt from Sparker Madness wanted to maybe do something with us for the Oscars. So I messaged Matt and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And he's like, "Well, I thought about doing like a podcast versus podcast type thing, because last year they did it. It was just the guys from Sparker Madness. So it was every man for himself. Colin ended up winning, which is why he's sitting there looking so suave with the trophy in his lap in the video.
Context.
Because he's the reigning champion. Obviously, doing 2 podcasts against each other, every man for themselves gets a little complicated. So with some brainstorming, we figured out a way to make it work with the number of people that are involved. So
this will be a team effort.
This is going to be a team effort. So
which is
this
good
is
because I stink at this sort of thing.
Me too.
so this is the way we're going to do things this year. So we've got the 2 teams, each podcast. They've got their 5. So it's Matt, Aaron, Ben, Wes, and Colin. And then we've got us, the 4 of us, and then Chauncey gets to be our 5th.
Sounds good.
And what we're going to
He's
do,
an honorary fangirl.
yes, he is. So he helps pay for the podcast hosting, so that gets some pull around here. So what we've done is each individual person has taken the list of categories and nominees. There's 24 in this year's Oscars. And we've made our picks on who we think is going to win in each category as individuals. And the Spark of Madness guys, they've already come together and recorded their picks. I think that's going to get released, on Thursday. And I don't know what their picks are. Matt offered to send their picks to me. I did not want to be influenced by their picks.
Smart move.
So I was like, no. Yeah. So we've all have our individual picks, and now we're coming together, and we're going to go through each category and see who everybody picked. And it's really just going to be majority rules. So, if we get to, best original song and 3 of us picked one and the other 2 picked something else, or each picked something else, the 3 votes, whatever has the most votes is going to be the team pick. And then our entire team pick will go against theirs come Oscar Sunday, which is this Sunday. So, and then the winner of whichever team gets the most picks right gets to pick a movie for the losing team to review. And it can be anything.
Mwahaha. And oh boy, this could be interesting.
I have some ideas for what we could potentially pick if we manage to win, but I don't really want to put the cart before the horse. So
yeah, we'll put that on the back burner if and when it becomes
we don't want to do any victory dances early.
No. If you've ever been involved in any kind of sports or competitions, you know not to do that.
But they were very sure of themselves, or at least Colin was. In their challenge video. So I've been spending the last few days with the power of the internet trying to be as scientific about this as possible, which I have no idea.
Okay, this kind of requires you to get in the head of the Academy, and the Academy
is.
They honestly, they're the critics and everything. They hate regular audiences. They really do, because the stuff they pick are not what. Now, I mean, this year there's a certain movie about a certain rock star that might tip things a little differently, but I mean, then again, the critics weren't that hip on Queen when Freddie Mercury was even alive, so I don't know.
So I made a list of everything that's nominated, regardless of category, and went on the Academy's website. Thank goodness that the Academy's website is thorough, because you could look up every single nominee, and it gave you a short plot synopsis and a trailer. So the things that I had no idea, like in the documentary categories, and I was able to at least look and get an idea of what the film was about. So, because Chauncey and I made our picks last night in the car before I had a chance to do this, so I actually may be changing some of mine as we do this. And then I was also going through and checking to see what had already won at what I would consider the big award ceremonies. So the BAFTAs, the Critics' Choice, the Golden Globes, and the SAG Awards were kind of the 4 that I was using to also help, especially the SAG Awards, because those are supposed to be the closest to indicate how the Academy's supposed to go. Again, anything can happen, though, as we've seen the last few years with, the whole Moonlight La La Land Best Picture debacle fiasco.
That was actually the most entertaining part of the Oscars in recent memory. It was like, oh, wow, someone messed up the envelopes. That was more interesting than who actually won.
Yeah. So we're going to start at the back of the list and work our way up to Best Picture, because that's the way the awards ceremony is going to go.
Good. Yep.
So we are going to start. We're going to start with Best Original Screenplay, and just to remind people who may not have a ballot in front of them, the nominees are The Favorite, First Reformed, Green Book, Roma, and Vice. And I've got a ballot in front of me with everything listed and a pen, so I'm just going to write. I'm going to mark next to them, and then I'll tally them up when we get to the
How
end
are we doing
here.
this? Are we doing this in alphabetical order?
Yeah, that'd probably be the easiest, actually.
Okay.
So.
I go first.
Yep.
I picked Green Book.
Okay.
Do I need to say why?
Not necessarily, unless you really want to make an argument for it. So.
No, it's the only reason I picked this because out of those are the only ones I even had any interest in and one I know more about.
Well, it did win Best Screenplay at the Golden Globes, though. So
that has it going for it, I guess?
Yes. Yep. So, Chrissy.
Well, out of all of these, the only one I'd really heard of, even not seen, heard of, is The Favorite, and critics tend to like period pieces, so there's my oh so scientific pick.
Hey, that works.
Okay.
Yep. And Rachel, I'm saying like Chrissy. I'm Favorite, just like she said. They go bonkers for that period stuff.
Okay. And that's what I had picked too. I had picked The Favorite. And then Chauncey had gone with Green Book. So that's 3 for The Favorite, 2 for Green Book. So looks like that
Favorite's the favorite.
Yep. So Best Adapted Screenplay: The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, The Black Klansman, Can You Ever Forgive Me, If Beale Street Could Talk, and A Star Is Born.
Right. So I picked A Star Is Born because I don't know.
Because Hollywood seems to really love this story, because this is the 4th time that they've made this story into a motion picture.
That's true.
Yep. How's that saying go? If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Like, change it just enough for the whatever era it's being made in. This is the 2010s, almost 2020. So, yeah.
I guess you have to keep making it.
Yep.
All right. Well, my thought is The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, because the Coen brothers, another Hollywood darling. So that's the only reason.
Okay. Fair enough.
And I'm with Brittany on this one. I'm a Star Is Born.
And that's the way that Chauncey and I both went to. So, A Star Is Born. All right. Visual effects: Avengers Infinity War, Christopher Robin, First Man, Ready Player One, Solo, A Star Wars Story.
This one took me a while to decide, and I'm still iffy.
Yeah.
I'm going with Avengers Infinity War because I just thought it looked gorgeous in all the scenes to me.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, I had to do the same thing. I was torn between that and Christopher Robin, but I was like, yeah, it's Avengers. It looked great. The visuals were amazing, and they were. I mean, yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also went with Avengers Infinity War. I had a 3-way tie. Infinity War, Christopher Robin, and then Solo for the Kessel run. I was like, yeah, okay, Avengers.
Yeah, Avengers, it kind of seems like they picked that because visually it is like all throughout the movie, whereas even Christopher Robin, it would just be for the like Winnie the Pooh and Piglet and Rabbit and Tigger, the characters. And so although maybe they'll surprise us and be like, oh, it's kind of a period piece, sure,
yeah.
Close to First Man, I guess, but
Chauncey actually he picked Infinity War as well. I had actually picked First Man, so I'm the odd one out on that one. Just because
so I guess
it's a period historical, about the moon landing and all that, but usually it's the stuff that we like that only gets nominated in these technical categories and tends to win. So
yeah, that is true.
Yeah. So, because I think Ready Player One was really cool looking visually, but I think it was so cluttered.
Yeah.
With all the 80s
Infinity
references.
War, you could there's so many characters and so much going on, but you could still tell what was going on.
Yeah, it's like the visuals supported the story rather than were the story.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And the motion capture was just just really, really good. Like as I gushed several episodes ago when talking about Josh Brolin's performance as Thanos, it's like the motion capture is just so good.
Yes. He and Mark Ruffalo at least could commiserate.
Yeah, exactly. All right, sound mixing: Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, First Man, Roma, and A Star Is Born.
I'm going with Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah,
because I'm in the middle of it.
I am too, merely because that's of like the big categories of things that are nominated. That's the one movie I saw, and it was a really good movie. And my ballot, you know how in elections you can vote to vote one party all the way down. Yeah, I'm voting the Queen. Yeah, I'm voting the Queen party all the way down. So if Bohemian Rhapsody is nominated, that's my pick.
Bias? No.
Never.
This has nothing to do with me having been listening to Queen almost nonstop since I saw the movie, even before then.
Tiny's getting his education in Queen, which is good.
Yeah.
Hey, it started from when he was a week old, so
hey,
he comes by it honestly.
Yes, he does. Yep, my pick for sound is Bull Rap.
Yep. Mine too. Chauncey actually picked First Man, but he's the odd man out. So
and watch it. I mean, First Man.
If for anything else, the Live Aid sequence.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
is just amazing.
And for those of you,
please they made that work.
Please seek out the full bonus feature that has.
It's on YouTube.
Concert. Oh, good.
Yeah, where it shows you how they did it, like how they filmed the extras and put the different outfits so that they could repeat the person without actually repeating their character, and how they had to put period wigs on them and that sort of thing, and how they had
to watch this weekend, and he loved it.
Yeah, I mean, as I was watching the movie in the theater, I'm sitting there going this is awesome. And then in the back of my mind, it's like, how in the world did they do this? It looks like they actually got all these people at Wembley Stadium.
I'm thinking they recreated original in CGI. I mean,
yeah,
it's pretty impressive.
But
and
the sound
sounds
too,
really good. I mean, it sounds just like it.
I mean, because there's just the crowd response.
Yeah. Oh my, excuse me. Sound editing: Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, First Man, A Quiet Place, and Roma.
Most of I'm amused at A Quiet Place. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I get the concept. Like, isn't this what you know sound? Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, no surprise, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yep.
Yep, me too.
Yep.
So Bohemian Rhapsody, straight ticket on that one. What did Chauncey go for?
He actually went with A Quiet Place. Oh. And I was torn between A Quiet Place and Bohemian Rhapsody, actually, because just the fact that A Quiet Place was able to tell such a compelling story when sound is so minimal is really impressive. But I don't editing and mixing, to me, they're almost the same thing. So it's like how much weight does the storytelling with the sound matter?
Don't they basically award those like one right after the other or almost together?
Yeah.
Feels like they do, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Live action short film. Detainment, Fauve, Marguerite, Mother and Skin.
Yeah, this one's just like I randomly picked one of like real quick reading, and I'm picking Fauve.
I flipped a coin and went with. Okay, I didn't flip a coin. I guess I threw it out of a hat. I went and the winner was Skin.
Okay.
I don't even know.
I did a hat thing too, and my pick came out Detainment.
Oh boy.
Yep. Please tell me that we have somebody to break on one-way tie.
Well, Chauncey went with Marguerite.
Oh no,
Rachel, if you say Mother.
I had picked Marguerite, but that was before I actually knew what any of these movies were about, before I read the synopsis and seen the trailers after. I actually think I'm going to switch mine to Detainment.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Yay.
Not hurting my feelings.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I just really quick read the synopsis right now. Like, whichever one sounded more to me. But.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Animated feature: Incredibles 2, Isle of Dogs, Mirai, Ralph Breaks the Internet, or Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Ooh. I had a hard time choosing. I'm actually going one what I haven't seen because it seemed like something that they would pick, which is Isle of Dogs.
And see, like
it's Wes Anderson, so
yeah, that's what I say. Like true. I know he's popular with with the films.
Yeah.
See, like Pixar wins a lot. I mean, Disney wins a lot in general.
Yeah. Usually, if there's a Disney and or Pixar movie in this category, you could almost guarantee that they're going to win. But if you look at what's been winning in that category with all the others, with the other awards.
And the other thing, too, is like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse has just gotten a lot of really good press. A lot of good.
Yep. And that's what's been winning.
That's the tricky one.
I have a three-way tie that I'm choosing through, and I have something written down, and I don't know if I'm going to change it or not.
Yeah, because it has won. It won best at the BAFTAs and the Critics' Choice.
Yeah, and where
it didn't get nominated for a SAG, so
yeah, and where Incredibles and Ralph Breaks the Internet, they're both sequels. Which I don't know if that makes a difference, but I gotta say Spider-Man.
I'm gonna go
That's
Dark Horse.
Probably a wise choice.
I'm gonna go Incredibles 2.
Okay. And Chauncey and I both went with Spider-Man, so.
Okay.
Spider-Man
that was so tough because I had Incredibles, Spider-Man, and then I had Ralph. I mean,
it's like it seems to go against our nature to not pick a Disney movie,
right?
But just just the way that Spider-Man has been going, it seems the logical choice. Because it's just visually, storytelling wise, I mean, yeah, the whole, different spider people from different, the multiverse thing is a different story. But visually, it's so different than everything else out there that it just screams, give me awards, because I'm pretty indifferent. All right. Animated short. Animal behavior, bow, late afternoon, one small step, and weekends.
So I was between bow and one small step for me, but I think bow seems more likely. That's where I'm going.
It is the Pixar one.
Yes, that's another reason.
It may be a little safer to go Pixar with this one, but you never know.
Yeah, I kind of feel like if indeed animated feature goes to Spider-Man, then they'll throw Pixar a bone with bow. I'm like you, Brittany. I was down to bow and small steps, so I think I'm gonna go with bow.
Same here. I went with bow as well.
Yeah, that one is the same all across the board. Oh, all right. Production design: Black Panther, The Favorite, First Man, Mary Poppins Returns, and Roma.
I went with Black Panther because I just loved how it looked. And the design, I don't know. Black Panther.
This is another one that's sticky because I'm like, The Favorite, it's a period piece.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mary Poppins Returns, kind of. First Man is another one.
Yeah.
Although I kind of feel like the Academy's really trying to push Black Panther. And say oh, look, we nominated a Marvel movie for Best Picture. Look at us. Look how hip we are.
Yeah.
So I kind of wonder if this is where they'll give them the Oscar. So I think I'm going with Black Panther.
Okay.
Yep. Mark another ticket to Wakanda, please.
Yes.
Black Panther.
And then I think Shotzi and I were out on Mary Poppins Returns, actually.
Well, see, it was Black Panther, the Favorite because of the period piece, and then Mary Poppins. I had a three-way, and I'm just like, okay, Black Panther.
Yeah, but Black Panther did win Best Art Direction at the Critics' Choice Awards.
Yeah.
So. All right. Best Original Song: All the Stars from Black Panther, All Fight from RBG, The Place Where Lost Things Go from Mary Poppins Returns, Shallow from A Star Is Born, and When a Cowboy Trades His Spurs for Wings from The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
My heart wants to say This Place Where Lost Things Goes, but I know Shallow's been making, ironically, waves.
Yes.
So I'm going with Shallow.
Now that you've said that, Brittany, you've shot some of my argument because I'm like, this might be another one where they give Black Panther the category, the award, just because I really don't think they're going to give it the best picture, because I think the nomination is going to be they're going to be like, hey, look, we nominated it. Are you happy? So they'll give it other awards. So yeah, I got to go with All the Stars.
I'm going Shallow just because with the way things have been going with the other categories that A Star Is Born has been nominated in, and them not winning said categories, I'm being generous and I'm going Shallow.
Yeah, that's what I went with Shallow. This will be where Lady Gaga picks up her Oscar. She's not going to win for Best Actress.
I think so.
That's good, because now I've heard all those arguments. I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm not changing my pick. But that's good for the team pick.
Yeah, I would be a little bit surprised, but not that surprised if All the Stars did manage to win, because it wouldn't be that unusual for a hip hop artist to win because Eminem has won one
for 8 Mile.
So there have been some, not traditional, film music. To win. So it would not be that weird for Kendrick Lamar to walk away with an Academy Award.
And there was some quasi late breaking Oscar news. Queen's going to be performing at the Oscars.
Yay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I know they aren't nominated for any of the songs, but
because the songs in that movie, they were all there were no new songs.
Since there's no host, there's no like big opening number like hosts usually do. So they're going to have to fill in those spots where the host would normally do like a skit or, some sort of performance. So
this might actually be an entertaining Oscars. With no host being stupid.
Yes, exactly. Yep. And who knows, their numbers might go up because, hey, there's no host. Let's see how this turns out.
Yeah.
It'll be like, just let everybody.
And they've changed their mind on, because they were like, oh, yeah, to make sure that everything fits, we're going to start picking 3 categories and we're still going to give them out at the ceremony, but they won't be on TV. We'll just pepper in the acceptance, throughout the rest of the TV, and then the people threw a hissy fit because it was all the technical categories, and then everybody was like, movies can't be made without sound mixing and visual designers and stuff. Like, that's the whole point.
It's like the hipsters can sell their hipster crap somewhere else. You don't need another commercial.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is, whatever kind of ads end up on there.
It's like just leading up to this award ceremony, every time the Academy's like, we're going to try something different, and the general public goes, no, and the Academy's like, okay.
I think it'd be funny if they said, we're going to try something different and not televise the Oscars.
It's going to be on the radio.
People say, it's like, okay, fine.
Yeah. The Oscars says something, and then us as the general public give them the Nick Fury stupid idea. No.
Yep. I realize the council's made a decision,
but it's a stupid decision.
I mean, at least for the mockery and entertainment and like I said, the moment whenever that was last year or the year before when they announced the wrong movie for Best Picture, that was funny.
Yeah.
That's what everybody talks about. That's what everyone wants to see. They don't want to see who actually, we do want to see who actually wins, but we also want to see them screw up.
Yep.
Because that's anyway.
We're a third of the way there, so. Yep. Original score: Black Klansman, Black Panther, If Beale Street Could Talk, Isle of Dogs, Mary Poppins Returns.
I picked Black Panther, this one. For no reason, really.
It's got really good music.
It does.
That's what Mary Poppins didn't, but
yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with Black Panther on this one too.
Yeah. Ticket number 3, Black Panther, Wakanda.
I also went with Black Panther. Chauncey went with Mary Poppins Returns.
I guess that's the last one Mary Poppins Returns is nominated for. Oh no, wait, costume design is still. That one's still on there.
Makeup and hairstyling, which is the shortest list. There's only 3. So Border, Mary Queen of Scots, and Vice.
I went with Mary Queen of Scots because of the period.
Yeah.
Yep. Same here. Same reason. Because that historical accuracy stuff.
Yep.
That time period.
Well, I'm odd person out. I went with Vice.
You are the odd person out.
I was surprised that Bohemian Rhapsody didn't get anything for the makeup.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, good grief, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Makeup, hairstyling.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It'll probably go to Mary Queen Scott, so because they love giving period pieces for costumes and makeup and hairstyling, especially if the hairstyling involves those big powdery wigs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The wigs, those big frilly collars, geez, the big ginormous dresses.
Yep.
And the jewelry.
Vessels. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, foreign language film.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to butcher this first one. I'm so sorry.
Capernaum.
Capernaum. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cold War, Never Look Away, Roma, and Shoplifters. So
I went with Roma because I know it won award.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Considering it's also nominated for Best Picture.
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of
think it's unusual. I don't know how often foreign language films also get nominated for Best Picture.
Also, didn't Alfonso Cuarón direct that one?
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
So, yeah, I'm picking Roma as well because, like I said, I don't think. I mean, that I guess it could, but I don't think it'll get Best Picture, so it'll get the foreign language film.
Yeah, I went with Roma too.
Yeah. That is probably. That's straight across the board. 5 for Roma. All right. Film editing: Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, Green Book, and Vice.
I went with Bohemian Rhapsody. Don't know why I said it like that.
Well, considering how they did the editing in that movie, I think so too. Bohemian Rhapsody.
Same. Bohemian Rhapsody.
I'd actually gone with Vice. And so had Chauncey, just because if you ever get around to seeing Vice, even if you just ignore what's actually being said as far as the plot and just watch the visuals, it is edited in a very, very unique way. The way that it's edited to tell the story that it's telling. So and it actually has won Best Editing at the BAFTAs. Yeah, but I think it actually could be a toss up between Bo Rap and Vice. So
yeah, from what clips I saw of Vice, I mean, with the shots in that between Vice and Bull Rap, I think those are the two big contenders.
Yeah. Oh. Documentary short: Black Sheep, Endgame, Lifeboat, A Night at the Garden, and Period, End of Sentence.
I went with Period, End of Sentence basically because of the climate of how people are now, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. It's relevant. It's very relevant.
That's the one I went with too. However, I do want to register. If I had a write-in vote, it would be "Won't You Be My Neighbor."
That would be a documentary feature, though, not short.
Oh, this is short. Dang it!
Yes.
Stupid joke. Sorry.
I totally agree with your. I totally agree with your sentiment, though.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. I went with Period, End of Sentence.
Okay. And so did I. Chauncey just picked random. He went with Lifeboat. He's like, "There's 5. Pick the one in the middle."
That's one way to do it.
Scientific.
Yeah. All right, documentary feature. Which Won't You Be My Neighbor should be on this list?
Yes, that was a total snub. Shame on you.
But it's not. But the films that are. Free Solo, Hale County, This Morning, This Evening, Minding the Gap, Of Fathers and Sons, and RBG.
I went with RBG.
I'm going with Free Solo because it won at the BAFTAs.
I had RBG.
Let's see. I went with RBG as well. Chauncey went with Free Solo, so that was close, but RBG wins. Or at least gets our pick. Yeah.
people saw the name. Sorry, I was just gonna say how many people saw Free Solo and thought it was like some related to Solo's Solo movie.
Yeah. It's about mountain climbing.
Yeah.
I was like, didn't Screen Junkies make a joke about that? Maybe,
they?
I don't know. I feel like they did because they had their Screenies. There's their Screenies video.
Yeah.
And they were making fun of the award season in general.
And odds are it's probably going to come down to one of these categories that's going to determine whether we win or not.
That is true, and that worries me.
Yeah.
Guys, can I just want to make a plea right now to Spark of Madness, those guys. If we do end up having to review a movie, make sure it's not something like gross and horrifying. Dirty.
Yeah. We do have standards. This is a family-friendly podcast, so it needs to fit our demographic.
And now that I've said that, they'll like give us like 50 Shades of Grey or something.
Oh God, no! Don't give them ideas.
No. Yeah. Whoosh.
Oh my! I feel like Indiana Jones. Like you've chosen wisely. That's how it's going to feel on Sunday.
You chose poorly.
Poorly, yeah. Costume design: The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, Black Panther, The Favorite, Mary Poppins Returns, and Mary Queen of Scots.
Ooh, I had a hard time with this one.
Same here.
Yeah, because there's 2 period pieces on here.
Exactly.
And they're both to deal with British royalty. Well, okay, Scottish, but it's also British.
Yeah. It's the UK.
The UK.
I went with The Favorite.
I did as well, since that one, it got a lot of nominations in the actor-actress categories. So, yeah. Well, I guess just actors.
I went with Black Panther. I mean, with the Black Panther costumes, but just too with all the tribal and traditional African designs and clothes. That's where I went with my vote. Just how they kind of went about and honored that.
I also went with The Favorite, just because of the 2 period pieces. It's the one that seems to be getting more and more attention and awards and stuff. Chauncey went with Mary Poppins Returns.
Okay.
To be honest, if the 2 period pieces weren't on that one, I probably would have been Mary Poppins too.
Yeah. Yeah, if it wasn't for the period pieces, I would probably go with Black Panther, actually, just because I know that their costume lady, she was, she worked really, really, really hard to make sure the costumes were appropriate. Mm-hmm. Pulling inspiration from actual African tribes and stuff. Mm-hmm. So she wasn't, she did not want anyone to claim, cultural appropriation with the costume designs. So.
Yeah.
Which people would, sadly.
Yeah, the period pieces are just, man, they're tough. They're really tough to beat. Oh, all right. Cinematography: Cold War, The Favorite, Never Look Away, Roma, and A Star Is Born.
I went with The Favorite because period piece, I guess.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess cinematography is a hard one for me to pick for because I'm like, I kind of know what that means, but to help to ask me to explain
it's camera work essentially.
Yeah. I guess I'll go with The Favorite.
I was kind of a toss up between A Star Is Born and The Favorite, but I'm going with The Favorite.
Right. I'd actually gone with Roma. And then Chauncey, again, picked at random. He went with Never Look Away. So that's 3 for The Favorite. All right. Now we're into the big 6. Director, where I'm going to butcher some of these names. I'm so sorry. Alfonso Cuarón for Roma. Yorgos Lanthimos for The Favorite. Spike Lee, I'm glad I can pronounce his name, for Black Klansman, Adam McKay for Vice, and Powell Pawlikowski for Cold War.
I'm not sure what this one like. It's between Alfonso Cuarón and Spike Lee for me. I think I'm gonna go with Alfonso.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Alfonso Cuarón. He's won a lot of the best directors for this one, so kind of think that's where it's gonna go.
I was debating between Alfonso and Spike Lee. I'm gonna give it to Spike Lee for this one because it's been a while with Spike Lee directing something this major, so that's who I'm voting for.
I also went with Alfonso Cuarón and Chauncey at random. Went with Adam McKay. So,
This is a fun fact that
Cuarón it is.
either I didn't know or I forgot, but he directed Harry Potter. The Prisoner of
Yes, he did.
Oh, okay.
The third one.
Yep.
Best Supporting Actor, Mahershala Ali for Green Book, Adam Driver for Black Klansman, Sam Elliott for A Star is Born, Richard E. Grant for Can You Ever Forgive Me, and Sam Rockwell for Vice.
I'm going with Mahershala Ali.
Well, I actually like Richard E. Grant, so that's who I picked.
And
He's the great intelligence.
Yes.
Exactly.
I have a toss between Mahershala and Sam Elliott. I'm going to give it to Sam Elliott.
Let's see. I picked Mahershala Ali because he's been winning at most everything for that category.
I mean, I was going to go with him, but then I just thought, well, if the Oscars decides to do a 180, who might they give it to?
Yeah. And Chauncey actually went with Sam Elliott, so we have a tie.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Ooh. What do we do with a tie?
Between Mahershala Ali and Sam Elliott. So I could toss a coin?
Yeah, I think in this
Coin
case,
toss? Yeah.
Okay.
Coin toss.
Let me see if I have a coin to toss within reach.
I have one.
Yeah, so if anybody's got one, because
Okay.
I don't.
Brittany, you flip. Rachel, you call.
All right.
Where are we gonna say which side's which?
Oh yeah. Which side?
Heads Mashar, that guy. The Ali guy.
Mahershala.
Yeah,
okay, so
him.
Heads
him.
Green Book, tails, A Star is Born.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, come on. Flipping. Ah! It landed on its side. Are you serious? How did that happen?
Maybe it'll be a tie.
Let's try this again.
Reflip.
We have ties in the Oscars?
Oh.
Well, one gets announced and the other actually gets the award.
Yeah, that's true.
And we have heads.
All right. Mahershala it is. Note, we had to do a coin toss for that one.
Yes.
All right.
So if it ends up being Sam Elliott, we'll curse the coin.
Blame the coin. And if it ties and it happens to be between those two, Brittany may want to buy a lottery ticket.
we get half a point.
Yes. All right. Best Actor. Christian Bale for Vice, Bradley Cooper for A Star is Born, William Dafoe for At Eternity's Gate, Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody, and Viggo Mortensen for Green Book. And I can almost guarantee I know what you guys are going to say.
Well, and
I should totally just say something random and you guys be shocked. But I'm going with Rami Malek.
Yep.
Well, and I will point out that the trend this award season does go in our favor. So yes, Rami Malek for Best Actor.
Yeah.
Yep, Rami Malek.
Yeah, that's what I said last night when Chauncey and I were talking about it. I said, if anyone besides Rami Malek wins in this category, I will eat my hat.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even though he went with Viggo Mortensen just because. Yeah. He went with Viggo Mortensen just because he likes Viggo Mortensen.
I do too. Like, but.
Yep. But again, if someone besides Remy wins, I will eat my hat. All right. Best Supporting Actress, Amy Adams for Vice. Sorry, I'm going to butcher. Marina de Tavira for Roma. Regina King, If Beale Street Could Talk. Emma Stone for The Favorite. And Rachel Weisz for The Favorite. This is a tough one.
Same.
Because it's split, I think, between Regina King and either of the gals from The Favorite, because The Favorite won all the acting awards at the BAFTAs, but at all the US it's been Regina King.
Yeah, that's basically what I've been. Those three.
Yeah.
I'm weighing more to Regina King. Yeah. Honestly.
I am too.
I was between Regina King and Amy Adams. I'm going to go with Amy Adams. I'm just feeling that the Oscars might jog left.
Well, and she's been snubbed.
She's been snubbed so many times. She's got to be one of her years. One of these times.
I mean, her performance of Vice is pretty good, but I wouldn't say it's anything super memorable. No. She was there because Dick Cheney had to have a wife and a mother to his children, but she's not really the focus, though, other than being the supportive wife. So, yeah, I also went with Regina King, just going with the other U.S.-based awards ceremonies. Then Chauncey went with Emma Stone, but I mean, I know The Favorites. She hasn't really been winning any though for The Favorite though, and they've all been going to Olivia Colman. It's actually Rachel Weisz, I think, that won at the BAFTAs.
Yeah, she did.
So, and Emma just won. What, last year, 2 years ago for La La Land?
I think so.
That is true.
Yeah. So I don't know if she could. I don't know if she's necessarily going to pull off another one this soon. So yeah, that's going to go to Regina King. All right, Best Actress. Yalitza Aparicio for Roma, Glenn Close for The Wife, Olivia Colman for The Favorite, Lady Gaga for Stars Born, and Melissa McCarthy for Can You Ever Forgive Me?
It was between Olivia Colman and Lady Gaga, and I ultimately went with Olivia Colman.
Yeah, same here. Olivia Colman.
I had between Lady Gaga and Glenn Close. I'm going Glenn Close. She's won the last couple. Who's not to say she's going to pull it off again?
Yeah. Yeah, this was tough for me because as much as I'd love to see Lady Gaga win.
Oh, me too. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
I
don't think she's going to.
Yeah.
Although she did win Best Actress at the Critics' Choice, but it was a tie with Glenn Close.
Close, yeah.
So, and then Glenn Close has won at everything else on her own. She won the Golden Globe and the SAG Award.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Glenn Close.
Yeah.
And then Chauncey actually went with Lady Gaga, so we have another tie between Olivia Colman and Glenn Close.
Am I going to have to flip a coin again?
Yes.
Or did you want me to flip? Or did you want me to flip this time? I got a coin.
Oh, you can do it this time.
Okay. So who do we want for heads?
We'll do heads Glenn Close, tails Olivia Colman.
Okay, it's flipping. And guess what? On the side, you need to flip again.
Oh,
seriously? What is flipping?
Really? 1, 2, 3. It is heads.
All right. Glenn Close it is.
Honestly, Holly and I are not doing that on purpose.
No.
That is so funny.
I had my Kindle
I
thing.
guess I should have flipped. I did find my heavy challenge coin.
I mean, I
could've
flipped
tipped
and
that
it
one
landed right where the closing thing for my Kindle was. I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. Right in the crease? No.
Goodness.
Oh my.
All right. Well, at least this next one we won't have to flip a coin.
No.
Yes.
Not unless someone's going to say like, "Oh, I think A Star Is Born."
Yeah, no. Best Picture. This is the big one. So, Black Klansman, Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, Green Book, Roma, A Star Is Born, and Vice. And I don't think I probably even need to ask.
I'm
There's a few that I wouldn't mind winning,
Oh
but
yeah, I would love to see Black Panther win. It's not
Exactly.
going
It's
to.
not going to. The
But I would
Academy's
love
going to
if
be
it
like,
did.
like I
But-
said, the Academy's going to say, "Look, we nominated one of the superhero movies. That's all you get."
Yeah, for now.
For now.
So
Maybe another 20 years.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I. Oh, and it's also a wish and a hope that that they finally got their heads out of their rear ends.
Yeah.
I don't know. With the Academy, you never know.
Yeah.
So my nomination is in. Sorry, guys, for this horrible attempt, but is this the real life?
Is this
Fantasy. No, you gotta go. You gotta sing "We Are the Champions."
Champion.
So,
Yes.
well, we'll sing that after they win.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
I'm guessing it's gonna be Bo Rap across the board.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Mhm.
Even Chauncey picked that one. So.
And Chauncey's a little more less biased, I guess, or maybe he's not. I don't know. He just kind of feels like it feels like he would pick based on actual taking the emotion out of your choice.
Yeah. Well, he started to pick Roma, but then he was like, once he found out what the stakes were for this bet, essentially, he's like, if me picking Roma causes you guys to lose, which it wouldn't have, because he would have been outvoted 4-1 anyway. He's like, I don't want to be responsible if we have to review a crappy movie.
Now, if it's a crappy but funny crappy movie, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So does Chauncey have to review it too? Like, is he gonna be on our podcast reviewing?
Well, he's part of the picking.
He's part of the team, so yes.
Technically.
Yep. He's
All
for
right.
the team with us.
Yep. So that was the last category. So quick recap here. So our official picks for the 91st Academy Awards are The Favorite for Best Original Screenplay, A Star Is Born for Adapted Screenplay, Avengers Infinity War for Visual Effects, Bohemian Rhapsody for Sound Mixing, Bohemian Rhapsody for Sound Editing, Detainment for Live Action Short, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse for Animated Feature, Bow for Animated Short, Black Panther for Production Design, Shallow from A Star Is Born for Original Song, Black Panther for Original Score, Mary Queen of Scots for Makeup and Hairstyling, Roma for Foreign Language Film, Bohemian Rhapsody for Film Editing, Period, End of Sentence for Documentary Short, RBG for Documentary Feature because Won't You Be My Neighbor didn't get nominated. It's really funny that it's like we're talking about the Academy Awards. I'm most bitter about a movie that didn't get nominated for documentary.
Well, because a movie that we actually did like got nominated. So
yeah.
We're not as salty about that.
Yeah. The Favorite for costume design, The Favorite for cinematography, Alfonso Cuarón for Roma for director, Mahershala Ali for Green Book for best supporting actor, determined by a coin toss, Rami Malek for best actor for Bohemian Rhapsody, Regina King for best supporting actress in If Beale Street Could Talk, Glenn Close for The Wife, again determined by a coin toss, and Best Picture, Bohemian Rhapsody. So we will find out on Sunday how well we did. And if anyone has any suggestions for movies that we may torture Spark of Madness with, just in case, feel free to send them our way. Chrissy, how can people get in contact with us?
Well, if people want to get in contact with us, either about the Oscars or anything else we've discussed, or if you have any suggestions for funny, crappy, silly movies we can let the losers review. I'm being very cocky and I shouldn't do that.
Hey, we're giving as good as they got.
I know, that is true. That is true. They trash talked us in their video. So you know what? You guys are going to be reviewing your Hunter from the Future. Look it up.
What?
Say what now?
Jared says I'm still being kind. I'm kidding. Okay. If you want to get in contact with us, dear listeners, you can email us at fiveishfangirls@gmail.com. Send us your feedback or anything else you want to chat with us, and we'll read it out here on the podcast. You can also visit our website, which is the5ishfangirls.com, and there you'll find links to all of our social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube. We also have ways you can support our podcast, and thank you to all of our supporters through Patreon, those who buy stuff from our Amazon store, from our merch shop, and any of those other fine avenues for monetary support, because that helps us put this podcast out on a weekly basis. So you can, again, visit our website and leave reviews on iTunes, on Google Play. We're on Stitcher Radio, and let us know what you think of the podcast and just whatever we discussed. And you can cheer us on or tell us that we were complete idiots and should have gone with, I don't know, Green Book or something for Best Picture. I don't even know what Green Book's about. Anyway, but yes, thank you all for listening. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you next week as well.
Yeah, we'll be back with the results.
And we'll either be singing "We Are the Champions" or I'm going slightly mad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Something like that.
Or all dead, all dead.
Yeah.
That too.
All right. Well, with that, we shall sign off for next week.
This is Brittany Buckham saying goodnight.
This is Chrissy saying goodnight from Salt Lake City.
This is Sally from Wisconsin saying good evening.
And this is Rachel from Indianapolis, Indiana. Gauntlet thrown, gauntlet returned.
You have been listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. You can find more episodes and information at thefiveishfangirls.com. Any and all books, movies, games, and any other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by the respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied. If you wish to support the show, the easiest way is to leave us a rating and review on iTunes. More ratings and reviews will make it easier for others to find the show. If you wish to support us monetarily, you can do so at patreon.com/fiveishfangirlspodcast. All money goes towards fees and equipment to keep the show going. For official Five-ish Fangirls merchandise, visit redbubble.com/people/fiveishfangirls. We love hearing from our listeners and encourage feedback. You can email us at fiveishfangirls@gmail.com. You can also like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/fiveishfangirls. Thank you so much for listening, and may the squee be with you.